Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another part of my 2024 album recap video series. Um, I will have, again, like the previous episodes, there will be links in the description to check out the previous parts, as well as a list of all of the albums I'm going to just list off in this particular episode. So, again, links in the description, full album list will be in the description as well. So this is just the next 100 albums that I listened to in 2024. We're going to go through, there's probably going to be a few more of these before we get to our breakdown videos or video where we break down the genres, the decades, and things like that. So let's just get to the top of the list here. So starting with the next 100, I listened to On How Life Is by Macy Gray. After that, moving into some jazz with Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker with Bird and Diz. After that, I listened to And the Stars Go With You by Jonn Serrie. After that was Control by Janet Jackson. Following that was Touché Amoré, Parting the Sea Between Brightness and Me. After that, I listened to Youth of America by Wipers. Following up that was 16 Stone by Bush. So I think that was their debut album, had like Glycerine on it and things like that, or tracks like that. After that was Charli XCX with Charlie. Then moving into Elastica's, okay, Elastica, how I'm pronouncing that, Elastica's self-titled debut. I think that's got like a connection. That's probably one of their most well-known songs. I believe that one's on there. After that, back to some more jazz with the Thelonious Monk Quartet with Monk's Dream. And then a very interesting album that I really liked, listened to it a couple times, was if I can pronounce this, Social Engineering by Jelinek. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is basically an ambient record, but it's comprised of like various like voicemails and text to speech of like various like scam emails, scam voicemails. Like it was like leave money in this account and we won't hack your computer, stuff like that. Just kind of those kind of phishing and scam emails and voicemails put up into in the wrapper of an ambient record. It's really interesting. So again, that was Social Engineering by Jelinek. Hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. After that was Oasis with Definitely Maybe. I believe that's their debut album, and I think it's probably my favorite album from them. After that, I listened to Sarah McLachlan with Surfacing. Then River Deep Mountain High by Ike and Tina Turner. After that was Black Summer's Night by Maxwell. That was followed up with The Zombies with Odessey and Oracle. I believe that's got Time of the Season on it. I could be wrong, but that's I believe that song is off that album. After that, I listened to The King of Surf Guitar by Dick Dale and his Deltones. Into some more electronic music. We have Computer World by Kraftwerk. That was really good. Then we followed that up with Odelay by Beck. I remember like listening to that when it, or some of the tracks off that album when it first came out. I think in 1996. Like Devil's Haircut's on there, Where It's At. Just a great album from them. Next up was Social Distortion with Social Distortion. It's a great one from them. After that, I listened to, let me see, was Actress with Statik. Following that was Carly Rae Jepsen with Emotion, or E.MO.TION, Emotion from Carly Rae Jepsen. Really good album. I think the title track on that one is actually really good as well. Following that was Bruce Springsteen's Born in the U.S.A. A lot of people misconstrue that song as being a patriotic song, when in fact it really isn't. But just a great album from him. After that was Eat 'Em and Smile by David Lee Roth. Then I listened to Ye by Kanye West, just a very short album from him. Not one of his better ones, unfortunately. After that, I listened to American Woman by The Guess Who. Following that was Magdalena Bay with Imaginal Disc. I remember seeing people talking about this album on Reddit with just the album artwork, and I had to use a reverse image search to figure out what the album actually was, because nobody in the post for some reason, or the comments when we were talking about this album, mentioned the album's name. So eventually found it out, and Magical Disc, just a great album from last year. Then I listened to Tonight I'm Yours by Rod Stewart. Following that was Magna by Danilo Dozzi. After that was Sash Jordan with Live in New York '94, which was recorded, I believe, June 1st, 1994, on one of Taylor Hawkins' first tours of, when he was, just starting out his, drumming career. I did a video talking about that particular album on my new 2025 album series, or 25 new essential albums. That's a really good album from her, a really good live album. After that was Stone Temple Pilots with Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. It's got Lady Picture Show. Pretty good album. I don't believe it's as... I still think Purple and Core are overall better albums, though. Then I listened to Buffalo Springfield by Buffalo Springfield. Following that was Brothers and Sisters by the Allman Brothers Band. Then was The Game by Queen. After that was Not the Actual Events by Nine Inch Nails. Next up was Mariah Carey with Emotions. Then Earth, Wind & Fire with I Am. After that we have Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by the Eurythmics. Just a great kind of, maybe new wave. I don't really know if new wave is the right genre necessarily. But yeah, that's just a great album from them. After that I listened to Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. I think one of his better albums overall. Then following that was Is This It by The Strokes. Then a soundtrack. We didn't listen to a whole lot of soundtracks last year, unless the soundtracks had a somewhat consistent kind of genre to them. So this is the soundtrack to the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney. It kind of has a lot of like a folk music style going through most of the albums. I ended up listening to that. But some of the soundtracks that have a wide range of genres I didn't use on this list. After that was Private Eyes by Hall & Oates. Back to Oasis again with What's the Story, Morning Glory, just a classic from them. It's got Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, Don't Look Back in Anger. I believe one of their better albums. I do think definitely maybe is slightly better, but Morning Glory is really good as well. After that, I listened to Desert Horse by Nico. Following that was Morton Garsons with Mother Earth's Plantasia. Then after that was Waxahachie with Tiger's Blood. Then Run DMC with King of Rock, just classic hip hop right there. After that was Stevie at the Beach by Stevie Wonder. And next album, I'm going to completely butcher the name. Well, the artist is Rammstein, however you want to pronounce it. And then Sechshucht, Sehnshuht. So Sehnshucht, I'm just going to stop butchering it right there. So that's probably all I can really do with that. But that was a great album from Rammstein. After that, I listened to, don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Aja by Steely Dan. That's a really good album from them. Next up was To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. People will argue one of, if not his best records. I like Good Kid, Mad City just slightly more than this, but To Pimp a Butterfly is just an incredible album. After that was A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco. Next up after that was Sleater Kinney with their self-titled album. Next up was Kuss, or Kaius Kuss, I believe, band formerly featuring Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, but with Welcome to Sky Valley. After that was, let me just pull this over here so it's expand this just a bit. Nathaniel Ratcliffe and the Night Sweats with South of Here. After that, I listened to Kylie Minogue's Fever. Following that was Evening Star by Robert Fripp and Brian Eno, just some more ambient out music there. After that was AJ at Nothing But a Number by Aaliyah. Following that was Late Registration by Kanye West. Still, I think some of his better work there. his later stuff has just been pretty bad, but some of his earlier stuff is still decent. After that was Blake Shelton with Based on a True Story. Then I listened to Raspberry's Self-Titled. I believe that's got one of the tracks off Guardians of the Galaxy. I forget the name of the actual track, but I think it's like, let me just look up the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack and I'll be able to figure it out for you here. Go All the Way is the track that's, I believe, on that record and also featured prominently on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. After that was Flavors of Entanglement by Alanis Morissette. That's why there will be a list in the description so you can actually see all these without me butchering the names. After that was speaking about butchering names again. Osmotic and Fez with Sense the Tempo. I think I got that right. After that was Days Are Gone by Haim. Really like that. I think that was actually the first album I listened to from Haim. I've since listened to one of their other albums as well. Next up was The Clash with Combat Rock. Then Elton John with Madman Across the Water. Following that was Down on the Upside by Soundgarden. I believe that was their last studio album. I don't know if they ever reunited, but yeah, that was their last one. Came out in, I think, in 1996. After that was B-Day by Beyonce. Back to Magdalena Bay again with Mercurial World, which is, I think that's their first record, and then Imaginal Disc is the follow-up, or a second one. After that was Doran Electra with Flamboyant. And then kind of an album that really surprised me, and I didn't listen to any of his music prior to this, but I kind of knew he was into jazz. With we have Jeff Goldblum. So Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra with I Shouldn't Be Telling You This. Just a really good jazz record, and I think I found out that he was a jazz musician. It may have been on the Disney Plus show, like was it National Geographic? Whatever show he was doing on Disney Plus when that first launched, I think there was something where he had talked about jazz music. So ended up listening to one of their albums and really enjoyed it. After that, I listened to OK Computer by Radiohead. Following that was Tres Hombres by ZZ Top. Then next was the Hold Steady with Boys and Girls in America. Next up was Melissa Etheridge with her self-titled album. Then next up, an absolute classic with A Night at the almost at a Night at the Roxbury. A Night at the Opera by Queen has Bohemian Rhapsodies off of that one. Then we have some more Foo Fighters with 0095525, which is the B-sides off their self-titled debut. Next up, I listened to Arca with Kick 1. Then we have Otis Redding, The Dock of the Bay. Following that was Green Day with Kerplunk. And then MGMT with Oracular Spectacular. Following that was Listen Without Prejudice by George Michael. I think Freedom is on that one. That's a really good one as well. Next up, we have Regulate G-Funk Era by Warren G. I remember getting that album off of Columbia House. It was one of my 8 albums for $1 kind of thing. Really great rap album. I think actually the first rap album I actually used, this is like Windows 98 days, or maybe even Windows 95, using that was one of the first MP3s I kind of ripped off a CD, was put the CD in, copied it, made an MP3 of Regulate or something. After that, we have the Supremes with the Supremes sing Holland Dozer Holland. After that, we have Miles Davis in a Silent Way. I actually recently re-listened to that album, and it's like a weird, almost proto-ambient album. It's jazz, but it feels more like an ambient album. Maybe even before ambient was even a thing. I think that was kind of hit during his huge experimental time period. Anyhow. Next up, we have Journey with Escape. Then I listened to Pretty Odd by Panic at the Disco. Followed that with Kayla by MIA. Then into some metal, we have Seventh Son of the Seventh Son by Iron Maiden. And then I listened to Virginia Ashley's From Gardens Where We Feel Secure. I don't think this is streaming, at least on any of the traditional platforms, but I remember reading about this ambient record and ended up buying the album on Bandcamp. Just a great kind of ambient record. Uses what's like called field recordings of like nature to kind of like accompany the music. Yeah, just an excellent ambient record, but I don't believe it's streamable, at least in the traditional sense. Like I said, I ended up having to buy it on Bandcamp. After that, I listened to Apostrophe by Frank Zappa. Next up was Violent Femmes with their self-titled album Violent Femmes. Next up was That Feels Good by Jessie Ware. Following up that with Blue October with The Answers. And then more Foo Fighters again with, which one is this? 000-70726, which is live at Studio 606. So just a live album. Those are from the Foo Files collections that they eventually published, I think a few years ago. And they all have this kind of weird numbers. So this one is 000-70726. I don't know what the significance of the numbers is. I think there is something to them, and I don't recall what it was or what it is. After that, I listened to Japanese Breakfast with Jubilee. That was the first time I listening to them, and it was a really enjoyable record. And this year, I think they put out a new album this year that I also really liked. More Foo Fighters again here with 010-70726, which is the B-sides from Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. Next up was the Four Tops with Reach Out. Second to last one here, we have Transgender Dysmorpha Blues by Against Me. And then finally, in this batch of 100, we have The Empire Strikes First by Bad Religion. So that is going to do it for this list. Again, there'll be a link in the description to check out all the previous parts of this series, as well as a list of every album that I just mentioned, and probably butchered the names on a handful of them, at least. But there'll be links in the description and the list there. We'll be back again in a week with the next 100 albums, and we'll continue doing that until we get through the entire list before we start doing our kind of breakdown on the statistics. But that's going to do it for now, so remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one.